Members of the LGBTQ community, NAACP, and the Woodson Museum are speaking out against the Department of Transportation's request to remove road art in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, a Save Our Murals protest was held this afternoon at City Hall, and News Channel 8's Alessandra Young joins us live from City Hall with their message. Alessandra.
Hey there, Josh. Dozens of people were out here protesting, holding up signs. Now, I spoke with some of them, and they said that they're not going anywhere, and they're doing their part to protect the art. Driving through the streets of St. Petersburg could end up being less colorful.
An individual community should be able to make its own decisions about what values it represents. St. Petersburg is a very progressive community, and we reflect that in our values and in our art.
Following orders from the Trump administration, FDOT has given a deadline of August 30th to cities and counties to submit a list of road art and mural locations that will be removed.
The murals that we're talking about reflected here are murals that are reflective of the values of this community.
The mayor of St. Pete says the city hears people's concerns and that they're taking a thoughtful approach to the issue. He says they're working to compile a list of painted infrastructure and seeing if any of the art qualifies for exemption.
St. Petersburg has always been a welcome and diverse city. And, you know, we're here to try to protect that and keep it that way.
On X, U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy posted saying, quote, taxpayers expect their dollars to fund safe streets, not rainbow crosswalks, end quote. But some disagree with the message.
You can, in fact, paint over words, but you can't paint over our faces. We're not going anywhere, and together we will rise.
It's very frustrating to us, and it feels like it's an invasion of us as a people of St. Petersburg, and we just say no. We're just saying no to the state.
Now DOT wants all of the art removed by September of next year. For now, live in St. Pete, I'm Alessandra Young, 8 on your side.
Is on your side.
Better Call Benkin is getting results for a Sarasota woman who has been waiting on a $60,000 IRS refund check for a year.
She got stuck in red tape and broken promises until she called 8 on your side consumer investigator Shannon Benkin. Shannon joins us now live in studio.
Jen, Josh, this woman tells me she never intended to give Uncle Sam a loan, and she's thrilled to finally have her money.
It was more than a year ago that Tricia Bowles received this letter from the IRS, acknowledging that she had paid too much in taxes when she sold her pet supply business in 2021. As a result, she was owed a refund in the amount of $48,941, and she was told she'd receive a check in 6 to 8 weeks. When the check never showed up, this spring, the IRS said they would pay interest, and the new amount she would receive was $60,321.63. But when that check didn't arrive either, she called Better Call Benkin.
I called monthly. I called their tax advocacy center, which is supposed to be a division of the IRS that's supposed to help, and even they kind of dropped the ball.
And we're helping.
They initially helped, but then they just stopped responding as well until you got involved.
When Tricia called me for help, she says she was told by the IRS that they had never had a check go missing and weren't sure when she would receive her money. Enough was enough. I sent Tricia's information to my contacts at the IRS and was told this would be escalated. Tricia tells me weeks later, a check for the full amount arrived in her mailbox.
I'm very glad that I called. I think I would still be receiving unanswered, being ignored, and not getting responses. So, thank you.
Tricia tells me the money came at a good time to help pay bills, and she's hopeful that she will never have to go through this type of issue with the IRS again.
I love it when it gets escalated. That's
too.
my favorite thing. Did the IRS ever say, like, what went wrong here?
They did not. There was never a clear answer, but Tricia tells me that she was told several times that a check was sent. It just never arrived. They never were able to locate that check, but after I got involved and got the right people in the IRS looking into this, things changed quickly, and so Tricia says she's just happy it's over.
Yeah.
So has the money.
Who cares at this point? She has the money. So
right.
Job well done. Thank you,
you,
Shannon. If you have a problem that needs solving, better call Benkin. The number is 1-855-BENKIN, or you can reach her on Facebook at WFLA Shannon. Tonight, 8 on Your Side is getting answers about a construction crane in downtown Tampa that has a lot of people worried, especially as we approach the height of hurricane season.
That crane is at the intersection of Florida Avenue and Cass Street. It's been sitting idle for at least 2 years, we know, and we wanted to know what's being done to ensure that the crane is safe. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson joining us live with some answers after first reporting on this crane last week. Jeff.
Good evening, Keith and Jen. Well, no work has gone on in this building in downtown Tampa for at least 2 years. That large construction crane you see up there hasn't moved. But the company that owns the crane says it's safe and was recently inspected by a third party to ensure its safety.
It was to have been a 28-story apartment building. But nearly 2 years ago, developers of the project called X-Tampa abruptly stopped work, leaving behind an unfinished parking garage and this multi-story construction crane.
Well, that's a ticking time bomb.
Tampa attorney John Fitzgibbons is one of the owners of the historic Tampa Theater office building. He's concerned the crane could topple during a hurricane and hit his building, the federal courthouse, or a hotel next door.
It's just kind of a big black hole with this huge crane looming over us for almost 2 years now.
Tampa Mayor Jane Castor says she is well aware of the situation.
I've been on top of that, and the company is restructuring, and they intend to complete that project.
The mayor says the city has asked for inspection records and an emergency plan for the crane. Last year, during Hurricane Milton, a construction crane fell in St. Petersburg and did major damage to a nearby building.
That was one of the things we wanted to prevent happening again.
State Representative Fiona McFarland from Sarasota was instrumental in passing new legislation regarding crane safety as hurricanes approach.
That at a construction site, if there's a crane, they have to have an emergency preparedness plan available for inspection at all times.
Cass Construction owns the crane and issued a statement regarding it today, saying the crane is not abandoned. It remains under active oversight with all required inspections and maintenance in place while work is temporarily paused. Keeping the crane secured and maintained is the safest option.
In fact, Cass Construction says that crane was recently inspected within the last 30 days. And late this afternoon, I received this multi-page document from the city of Tampa. It is an emergency management plan for that crane from Cass Construction, outlining exactly what they will do in the days leading up to a major hurricane and how they will handle the crane if that should happen. Reporting live in downtown Tampa, Jeff Patterson, 8 on Your Side.
News Channel 8 is your local election headquarters, and today is the final day for candidates to qualify for September's special election to fill Tampa's District 5 City Council seat.
Yeah, voters have another chance to hear from those candidates this afternoon. 8 on Your Side's Beth Rousseau live in Ybor City, where that event is happening, and the details on this discussion. Good morning, Beth.
Hey, good morning. So the voters tell us that they have a very specific, clear idea of what they would like to see in a candidate here for District 5. They say they want someone who's a self-starter and can hit the ground running. So those are some of the qualities that they're going to be listening for when all those candidates gather here at the Cuban Club later today.
Richie Dean Hills Akbar is a lifelong resident of District 5 in Tampa.
My family's lived on this block for over 100 years.
She says there's been a void since the death of Councilwoman Gwen Henderson.
She showed up to a lot of the local meetings, and she wasn't afraid to answer questions.
Now 14 candidates are in the running to fill her seat on City Council. Today is the last chance for anyone to qualify for the special election in September. Then all the contenders can make their case for voters at the Cuban Club.
It's important that someone actually cares about this community, that's from this community. They actually answer and return phone calls. That their concerns are the concerns of the people here. 7 of the candidates participated in a community forum Thursday. They laid out plans for housing, business, and funding for the East Tampa Community Redevelopment Agency.
It's real hard out here, but you got all the elected officials that get here and talking about they're going to do something for the people. When they get there, they don't do nothing.
Whoever wins the race will represent families in portions of downtown, the Channel District, Ybor City, West and East Tampa, Sulphur Springs, McKay Bay, and Palmetto Beach. Richie Dean wants someone who can turn plans into action.
I hope their intentions are to do their best for the community, and that their intentions are to serve the people of District 5. Because if they're not here for that, they just need to keep it moving.
Like I said, very clear-cut idea of what voters are searching for here in District 5. Those candidates are set to take the stage here at the Cuban Club this afternoon at noon, so we will go ahead and bring you updates on that. In the meantime, though, if you do want to hear what some of the candidates had to say during yesterday's forum, we have some of that posted for you on WFLA.com and the WFLA app.